Your life in 3 words. Boring times 3. Our life in 3 words. Made of mad.
We're made of mad, dancing to the tunes in our head that keep us way ahead.
We're made of mad, haters of reason, with new streaks of say what every season. We're made of mad, see us possessed, the level up kinda obsessed with whatever's our next. We're made of mad, the ambassadors of spunk, forever second to none. POCO, made of mad.
The bowler runs in with closing fielders lurking all around looking for an opportunity. Oh, that's a fiery bouncer there from the bowler who is making it hostile. There is surely some venom thrown up from this pitch as well. How is the batsman dealing with this stuff and making it look so easy?
मूर्ति फाइंडिंग्स
लगता है ऐसा विनेगर ज्यादा हो गया।
इज दिस अ होटल?
सर
POCO C31 ये फोन सिर्फ लैब टेस्टेड नहीं, लाइफ टेस्टेड है। POCO C31 टेस्टेड फॉर लाइफ।
व्हाट नेक्स्ट?
सर लंच ब्रेक।
What are the targets for Diwali? Are you prepared? See, last year was not so good. So here I'd like to present a graph that shows the rise. But
प्लेलिस्ट किसका है?
श्रीवास्तव जी का सर।
वेरी नाइस।
थैंक यू सर।
POCO C31 ये फोन सिर्फ लैब टेस्टेड नहीं, लाइफ टेस्टेड है। POCO C31 टेस्टेड फॉर लाइफ।
प्लेलिस्ट चेक कर दिया सर।
वेरी गुड।
It's just another fact of life for me, really. People wanna step into the party and job. It's just another fact of life for me, really. People wanna step into the party and job. Wanna step into the party and job. It's just another fact of life for me, really. People wanna step into the party and job.
What? Switch now. Guys, I'm in.
target in sight.
Sir, 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 sir.
No, not now. The stunning new POCO F3 GT. Switch it up.
You and I, we're the greatest. I see they hate us, but then they imitate us. We the movers and shakers, so many flavors. Yeah, we stack the paper. Stack it up, stack it up, yeah. let's get down. Let's get up. We can move this, you know we'll never stop. Yeah, let's get up. Then get down.
Hi everyone, how time flies. 3 months into the new year, and as we leave behind a long POCO winter break, we've come in with a bang this spring. We are already gearing up for the third launch of the year. Now I am Anuj Sharma, and it feels great to be back talking to all of you guys again. Now 2022 is already off to a killer start for POCO. We've launched a couple of really exciting phones this year. Now first up, we had the POCO M4 Pro 5G, the most powerful phone under 15K. It comes with a 5G ready Dimensity 810, which is built on a 6nm process, clearly flagship level. And along with that, it also comes with a 90Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling display, giving that little extra performance to all you gamers out there. But next up, we also launched the POCO M4 Pro, or as we call it, the POCO M4 Pro AMOLED Edition. And we are really excited about that because this is the first M series, in fact, the first non-POCO F series to have an AMOLED display. And the M4 Pro is perhaps the most immersive entertainment device in its class. Not only is it AMOLED, but it also is a 90Hz AMOLED screen. It comes with stereo speakers, amazing 64 megapixel camera, again a first for the M series, and something that, from a POCO perspective was an internal joke, the lightest POCO device ever. I'm including C series, M series, X or F. The M4 Pro AMOLED Edition is the lightest POCO that we've ever launched. If you've not tried it yet, take a look, you're gonna love this. But what also differentiated both of these devices is our departure, or I would probably say a journey into POCO's new OG design language. The design that is very, very identifiably POCO. If you are holding a M4 Pro 5G or a M4 Pro AMOLED Edition in your hand, nobody is going to mistake that phone for any other brand. And I've been getting great feedback from all of you guys on this updated OG design language. Now, going back a little, POCO has had an absolutely mad run so far. We've sold more than 12 million phones. In that process, we also became the #3 brand online. We've recently expanded our service network to more than 2,000 service centers. Now, these achievements have, of course, been driven by our strategy of keeping a very lean, mean portfolio. Every device has a clear purpose, a particular niche, and is distributed amongst all segments. Now, the results of this strategy speak for themselves. Most of our phones have crossed the 1 million sales mark each. That means all of our phones, almost all of our phones, have done more than 10 lakh in sales. But today we are here to talk about the X. Now, as fate would have it, it's almost a year since we last launched our X, the last X. And X series has always been the people's champion. Very special, actually, both to us as the team and to the entire POCO fam. And X series over the last 2 years has really shaken up what the mid segment can do. We've brought in some great technology. We've brought in industry firsts that later on everyone has basically copied. The X2 came in with a segment first 120 Hz display 2 years ago. Not just that, it came with a Snapdragon 730G where everyone else was on older chipsets. Then we moved on later that year to the POCO X3. And X3 took up everything that the X2 had, but amped up the battery, the charging, brought in stereo speakers, and of course, was an amazing device in that Diwali. And then last year was the POCO X3 Pro. In fact, with the X3 Pro, we went a little overboard in one dimension, which is performance. You know, when we launched the X3 Pro, the X3, the POCO X3 was still selling, and it continued to sell really well alongside X3 Pro. This is something that we did not really expect. Our assumption was, and I'm assuming like a lot of you, when you have a X3 Pro with an 800 series chipset, why are still people buying a X3 with a 732G? And what we gathered was not everyone was keen on indexing on one dimension. See, at POCO, democratizing decision-making has been a key pillar of our philosophy. That along with the fact that we bring in technology that matters and being ever-evolving. This is essentially what makes us Made of Mad. And in this spirit of getting you the best as well as democratizing decision-making, last year we sat down with our POCO fam. We wanted to understand what they really wanted. What did they care about in an X? And some really interesting points came about. This is what the users had to say.
I'm sorry. How long have you been using the POCO X3 Pro?
Hi, I'm Sam and I'm an IT professional. I've been using the POCO X3 Pro for about a year now and I love the phone. I stream a lot of content. I create my own content, which means I'm clicking photos and taking videos all the time. And I edit all the stuff on my phone as well and I upload it through my phone. So basically my life revolves around my phone. So this phone is perfect for me.
Does the look and feel matter to you?
Obviously, it does matter to me. Being from the design industry, I have an eye for detail. And that is the reason I bought my X3 Pro. But recently a friend told me that this doesn't suit my personality, doesn't match my vibe. And after a while, it actually struck my head that if X3 Pro comes with a better design, I would love it.
How do you think gaming experience can be better?
To be honest, I feel that the phone's a little heavy. The hand feel could be improved. The dual speakers are great, but it should have been a little louder.
What do you think of the camera performance?
Well, since I'm an aspiring makeup artist, I click and edit a lot of pictures and videos. And I've been feeling that the camera quality in the X3 Pro is not up to the mark. And if the camera quality in the X3 Pro was better, it would have been the best phone for me.
What do you think about the display?
Oh, I really love my display. The POCO X3 Pro has great display for content, but come to think of it, my friend got this new phone which had an AMOLED display in it, and the quality on her display was so much better than mine. And it made me really wish that my POCO X3 Pro should have had an AMOLED display.
What do you think of the camera performance?
So I basically work at a dog shelter nearby. So these dogs, they don't stay still. They keep moving here, there, and it's pretty hard to take pictures at times. So I need a more faster camera. So I believe I wish X3 Pro had a faster camera.
Now, as you just saw, X series has always been about having something for everyone. Whether you are a gamer, or if you are someone who's always on the move and need that extra juice, someone who consumes a lot of great content, or someone who's out there to become the next big thing on the internet. However, last year we pivoted a little and went a little extra mad and went in all into one dimensional alone, which was performance. This year, we are rediscovering our roots, what the POCO X series originally stood for, and creating a complete multi-dimensional product, an X that has something for everyone, or an X for all. I'm proud to present before you today a device that opens up many dimensions. The stunning new POCO X4 Pro 5G. Wow, POCO X4 Pro 5G. You know, that's a lot of words. And you guys are smart. One look at this stunning device and you know it's a POCO. You also know it's a 5G device. So for the rest of the presentation, let's just call it X4 Pro. And to tell you more about the X4 Pro, let's go to Raghav.
Thank you, Anuj. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We've kickstarted this year with some really exciting products that have disrupted this segment. And we don't intend to stop that disruption anytime soon. Today, we're all set to launch one of the stars from MWC Barcelona, the POCO X4 Pro 5G. Now, MWC is the mecca of the tech world, an event where only the latest and greatest in the world of mobiles are showcased. And the X4 Pro was truly a star at this event. As part of the feedback that we've received from you guys, y'all said y'all wanted a premium device, and we of course listened. The X4 Pro is more premium than ever, with a beautiful 2.5D glass back. In spite of putting a glass on the back of the X4 Pro, it is now thinner than ever before at only 8.12 mm. This makes it the thinnest X series phone ever. The design improvements we've made are not just skin deep. We were targeting an ergonomic device which remains great to hold and has exceptional weight balance. Now the X4 Pro weighs a svelte 205 grams, allowing you to rock your device in your own style. This makes it the lightest X series phone ever. Now last month, we introduced a brand new design language. A design that was so radical, so fresh, and so you. We called it the OG design. Now you've all seen this OG device take different shapes in the form of the POCO M4 Pro and the POCO M4 Pro 5G. Aren't they just gorgeous devices? Don't they truly stand out? And as far as what we know of you guys don't like to be one among everyone. You really like to stand out and deliver. Don't believe me? Let me demonstrate. Now look at all the phones in the market today, especially in this segment. And you tell me which phone belongs to which brand. Tough, right? Now let's throw a POCO in the mix and the whole equation changes. When you see a POCO, you definitely know it's a POCO. In fact, POCO's OG design is so loved by everyone that the competition is now making inspired designs, like for real. Anyway, we're thrilled to be taking this OG design forward on the X series as well. Just look at this beauty, starting with the beautiful camera island that is unique to a POCO. It gives this device a great deal of visual symmetry and stability. Now moving on, we moved on from a polycarbonate back on the X3 Pro to a premium 2.5D glass on the X4 Pro. It's like a perfectly cut diamond. Notice how light dances off this gorgeous surface. It creates mesmerizing patterns when you hold it at different angles to the light, almost like a field of lasers. Now the X4 Pro comes in 3 luminescent design options. Laser blue. Now blue light is more easily absorbed by the cones in the retina. This is why you end up noticing blue a lot more than any other color in your daily life. Now you take that blue color and combine it with POCO's OG design, and you get a result that is so awesome that you'll not be able to take your eyes off this stunning laser blue X4 Pro. Next comes laser black, the dark knight, mysterious and classy. An assassin in the night with its dark lightsabers. And of course, we have the crowd favorite POCO Yellow. Sunshine, happy, good times. It's a charm to conjure up all your happy memories. And we have it for the first time on the X series. It's absolutely stunning. Now the flat sides give the device a secure in-hand feel, and it is truly an embodiment of the word premium. A perfect harmony of materials, textures, appearance, build quality and ergonomics. All the visual features are balanced to perfection. Such a confluence is very rare in the smartphone world especially, and we're sure you guys are going to love it. Have you guys ever wondered why only the back of the phone has to be a good-looking part of the device? When you flip the X4 Pro around, we're guaranteed to blow your mind for a second time. Want to know how? Let's talk display. The X4 Pro comes with a beautiful 6.67-inch active matrix organic light-emitting diode panel, or as you folks like to call it, AMOLED. But not just any AMOLED, mind you, a super AMOLED. I mean, it's like the superhero of AMOLEDs. For further reference, maybe, you know how Superman is to man? Super AMOLED is to AMOLED in a similar manner. Now, LCD is great tech, but it really has a few drawbacks. Now, LCD is backlit, meaning that when you're supposed to get black, you instead have a milky sort of grey instead. AMOLEDs, on the other hand, have no backlight. Each of the individual LEDs can turn on and off individually, meaning you get pure blacks. Now, Super AMOLED takes things even further. Super AMOLED outdoes its predecessor and other technologies in the same generation by integrating the touch sensor component to the screen rather than being installed separately above it. Comparing it to AMOLEDs, its screen is essentially brighter and its power consumption lower, both by about 20%. It also addresses the former sunlight reflection downside by lowering it to about 80%. In effect, it produces brighter and more vivid display regardless of external light intensities. Moreover, it promises wider viewing angles, superb outdoor readability, and zero motion blurs with video or dynamic displays. With a maximum brightness of about 1200 nits, the display is bright enough for any environment. This is our brightest X series yet. The Super AMOLED on the X4 Pro brings with it perfect blacks and an incredible contrast ratio of 4.5 million to 1. Taking your scrolling experience an extra mile forward, the POCO X4 Pro comes with a Reality Flow 120Hz display for that buttery smooth UI experience and that extra edge in gaming. Now let's talk about color for a moment. This triangle that you keep seeing in display presentations, right? It's called the CIE chromaticity diagram, and it represents the entire range of wavelengths that humans can see. A color gamut is simply a subset of this diagram that a particular screen can display. Now, if your phone supports sRGB, it can show you this range of colors. The X4 Pro, on the other hand, supports DCI P3. This means you get way more coverage of this entire spectrum. The result? Images that are much more true to life, closer to what your eyes are capable of seeing out there in the real world. That's what we mean when we say vivid, lifelike images that'll truly pop out of your screen. Now, the X4 Pro is perfect for a time when personal media consumption is at an all-time high. And the 6.67 inches screen is perfect for those long binges on days when all you want to do is relax and chill at home. And now, to enhance your media experience even further, we've even included dual stereo speakers. Now this will give you a great experience when you're watching your favorite shows without the need for any external audio devices. We also retain the 3.5mm headphone jack, which with the advent of lossless audio formats is even more relevant today than it was 4 or 5 years ago. The headphone jack on the X4 Pro can output 24-bit 192 kHz quality. Now if you love your audio, boy oh boy, are you in for a treat. And even if you're a casual listener, just trying to play your favorite songs at the highest quality, you'll truly notice what high audio quality sounds like. And for those of you Bluetooth junkies who are rocking the coolest Bluetooth head or even earphones, we've upgraded our Bluetooth technology to Bluetooth 5.1. And that makes connections more stable and even more efficient. All we have to say is ready, set, and binge. Oh, and by the way, you're welcome. Anyhow, now that we've spoken about consuming content, let's talk about creating it. Let's go to the camera. The X4 Pro comes with a 64 megapixel triple camera system. This also comes with 4-in-1 pixel binning technology. So whether you're shooting in low light and need bigger pixels, or you want to capture all the intricate details of a scene, we have got you covered. You no longer need to be a photography expert to find the optimal ISO setting. The image sensor's smart ISO technology automatically does that for you based on the amount of light it sees in the scene. In a bright environment, the technology selects low ISO mode for greater clarity while preventing oversaturation. Now, when there's not enough light, Smart ISO switches to a higher ISO mode to brighten the image and express details even in dim areas. And with the new image sensor's phase detection autofocus, you can say goodbye to all those blurry shots. With the X4 Pro, you have the power to take laser-sharp images at the speed of light. Now, similar to how the left and the right eye work together, the image sensor's Super PD features compares phases detected at two different points to focus on the main subject. Now, with faster, more accurate autofocus, you can capture all your thrilling adventures exactly the way you've experienced them. And that's not all, and not by a long way. We've given you an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 118-degree field of view. Excited yet? Well, we are. Anyway, you guys must have noticed that my good friend MB isn't at this launch. No points for guessing, but he hasn't been reporting at work for quite some time now and claims that he's busy capturing stunning visuals with the X4 Pro. I don't believe him, but he sent some stuff over to make it a little more believable. So let's take a look at what MB has been up to.
Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Raghav. The POCO X4 Pro has a great camera and it deserves a great location. A location renowned for eternal beauty and timeless vistas. Location such as Darjeeling. When we think about Darjeeling, the first thing that comes to our collective minds is the world-famous Darjeeling tea. And we have quite a few tea connoisseurs in our office. In fact, Raghav is quite partial to Lopchu tea, and so I had to click this photo from the Lopchu tea estate to make him extra jealous. The POCO X4 Pro's 64MP camera is a godsend when trying to click images such as this. There is a lot of visual noise in this sea of green, but the camera itself ensures you're able to capture moments in time like this. You can almost hear the women singing their gentle folk song while plucking leaves early in the morning. The dew is still fresh and the sun is just a small speck in the sky, and everything looks beautiful in this picture. The details are crisp, almost like the leaf being plucked at this moment of time, which will eventually find its way to a cup somewhere. But what I really like about this photo is the way the details on this lady's waistcloth stand out. Small blooming violet lilies in this beautiful red cloth, which, due to our processing algorithms, are able to stand out beautifully against the dark green sea. While on the subject of iconic Darjeeling mementos, how could we forget about the iconic toy trains of Darjeeling? Long romanticized by Bollywood, Ritika, the lady you see in the pic, couldn't help hop onto one and pose like a gleeful kid. Now the 64MP mode is all about capturing insane details, but what about your normal day-to-day shots? I love this photo, and part of it could be because of the fact that Ritika here is wearing a really familiar shade of yellow which perfectly apes the yellow of the handrails on this toy train. Once again, the foreground and the background are accurately captured with enough details, so much so that you never have to worry about it. It's a beautiful mix of blue, yellow and black, just like the three amazing colors on the POCO X4 Pro. The POCO X4 Pro also comes with an amazing ultra-wide camera to capture images like these. Never-ending horizons and vistas truly stand out with the X4 Pro by your side. And as we all know, Darjeeling is chock-a-block full with such locations. Just look at this image. If you look closely, it's a pretty interesting situation for a camera to find itself in. Part of the hill in the background is shrouded in clouds, while the foreground closer to the camera has quite a decent bit of sun. Maintaining white balance in such scenarios usually becomes tough for most cameras, but not so for the POCO X4 Pro. The mysterious rolling mist, which is slowly moving up the hills, looks sharp and well defined. And the colorful roofs and terraces of these small structures provide great contrast. Let's move to the edges of this photograph and see how well the camera is able to keep artifacting and distortion at bay. A bane for most average ultra-wide cameras. The special camera unit we have set up in India is definitely showing up in these images. We decided to take a break from the shoot and went to a cafe on Mall Road for a nice warm cup of coffee. The evening sun was shimmering through a window, and Ritika here looks absolutely splendid standing in that warm golden glow, doesn't she? Real natural looking bokeh has always been something we have excelled at, and this time it's no different. Every strand of her hair, the pattern on her scarf, and the overall colors of this photograph are absolutely amazing. And that brings me to the end of this camera presentation. For the next launch, I really want to go to Maldives for, camera-related purposes. I'm just hoping Anush can approve my trip. That's all from this side of India. Catch you guys soon.
So now, you've got a great idea about the camera on the X4 Pro. Let's move on and talk battery and performance. All you POCO fans are used to not worrying about your battery performance, all thanks to our famous weekend battery. And the X4 Pro is no exception. It comes with a powerful 5000 mAh weekend battery. And an interesting point to note that even though the battery capacity is slightly lesser than its predecessor, it still manages to give you the same great battery performance thanks to the various software optimization and the efficiency of the 6nm process. You can get 15 hours of video playback, 27 hours of phone calls, and hundreds of hours of music playback. Battery anxiety continues to be a non-issue with the POCO fam. And if that's not mad enough, the X4 Pro comes with a 67-watt sonic charger. Yes, you heard me right. The same 67-watt MMT fast charger from last year's runaway hit, the POCO F3 GT. Now this means that it only takes 15 minutes to get up to 50% charge, and in 41 minutes, you are fully charged. This charger comes with USB PD. This means it can not only charge your phone, but also your laptop and even your tablet. Basically, you have one charger to rule them all. And of course, the charger comes in the box. We might be a bold and courageous brand, but the charger and headphone jack stay in the box. We like them, and we're pretty sure you guys do too. When the X3 Pro was launched, Anuj rightly said that this device was once in a few years kind of a device. When you look at how it did in the parameters that matter to you, the customer, it was obvious that some things were over-indexed. But what about the extreme performance that you saw with the X3 Pro? What are we doing with that? Well, we're moving extreme performance to a more gaming-centric GT lineup. But that will be a much more premium device. And for another day. At POCO, we've always believed that great performance is a sum of storage, RAM, and the processor all working together seamlessly and harmoniously to give you that great performance you know and love. We call it the performance trinity. The X4 Pro comes with blazing fast UFS 2.2 storage in 64 and 128GB variants. we're also giving you up to 1 TB of expandable storage. You can store your games there, of course, but you ideally want those on the faster internal storage. The external storage is ideal for your movies, books, your pictures, and even your music. Fast storage can result in much better overall experiences, especially when you want to hold on to your phone for 3 years or even longer, while it slowly fills up with the most precious memories of your life's best moments. The X4 Pro comes with up to 8 GB of RAM. To further enhance your experience, we're bringing Turbo RAM to the X Series 2 for the first time. This basically uses your phone's fast internal storage to dynamically boost your RAM capacity. This helps keep apps running in the background so you don't have to keep reloading them. And we're giving you up to 11 GB of Turbo RAM available at your fingertips. This is a big quality of life improvement that elevates your overall user experience to a new dimension. The X4 Pro runs on the Snapdragon 695 processor. It's built on a flagship 6nm process, and it's one of the latest chips from the house of Snapdragon. It not only gives you great performance, but also gives you great power efficiency. The Snapdragon 695 has an integrated 5G modem for even better battery efficiency. It also comes with 7 5G bands and dual 5G. This basically means that whenever the networks start rolling out 5G services sometime later this year, you will be more than ready. And if you light it up against other processors in the segment, that's where you see its true power being unleashed. Anyway guys, that was the X4 Pro. I think I'm done here. Time for Anuj to give you the summary and the pricing. See ya.
Thank you, Raghav. Now that was a fantastic overview of the complete and multi-dimensional X4 Pro. The X4 Pro has got something for everyone. If you are a multimedia junkie and you watch a lot of content on your phone, it cannot get better than this. It's got a 6.67-inch Super AMOLED display with DCI-P3 support. It's also a 120 Hz panel. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and I don't think anything else comes even close to this. But if you are someone else who's always on the go and you need a battery that lasts and a charger that fills it up really quickly, again the X4 Pro shines here. You've got a 5000 mAh battery, but along with that, you get a category best 67 watt charger, giving you 50% charge in just 15 minutes. Or if you want to top it up completely, 100% in 41. Now this is also a 5G device, and on that part we've got you covered. It comes with 7 5G bands which have basically got you covered wherever you are. But not just that, it is dual 5G, which means both the SIMs can actually support 5G. And when it comes to performance, you've got the all-new and powerful Snapdragon 695 processor, which incidentally is also built on 6nm process, giving you even more battery life than what you expected. But I think the star of the show, at least for me, is how good the X4 Pro looks. Another dimension is for all you guys who love to create content. On the X4 Pro, you would probably see the best camera ever on a POCO X series. And the last part, which we've not forgotten about, and of course you guys would also love this one, is the design. In a sea of plastic phones, the X4 Pro shines with its glass, but it does a lot more than shine. You see this amazing POCO OG design, and along with that, you get 3 gorgeous colors. The design on the X4 Pro is simply to die for. With all these features, we've created a complete multi-dimensional device. How much should it cost? Let's take a look at what else is out there offering maybe a similar experience or maybe in this segment, and see where it stands. Now, when it comes to competition devices in this segment, at first glance, you might think there are a lot of good options. But when you double click, you will see almost everyone's compromised somewhere. Some have actually gone from AMOLED last year to LCD displays just to get 5G in. And even then, it's just 5G bands. Or they've reduced their charging to 33 watt and gone to a plastic build. But I think they've always had plastic. Anyways, another one which is quite interesting is they've got an LCD display. It's a 5G phone, but with just 2 5G bands and 18 watt charging and plastic back. And then you've got another one where you've at least see AMOLED, but you've still stuck to 60 Hz AMOLED. You've downgraded the camera, you've downgraded the charging, you've downgraded the plastic back. Overall, compromises everywhere, except when it comes to the X4 Pro. Overall, as you can see, there are compromises everywhere, all in the name of giving you a 5G device. At POCO, we don't believe that should be the case, and that's why we've built X4 Pro to be complete from all possible dimensions. Now that you know all about the X4 Pro, let me also tell you how and when can you get your hands on one. Well, the X4 Pro is going to be available in 3 colors: laser black, laser blue, and of course, the POCO yellow. But we will also have 3 memory variants for you guys: the 664, 6128, and the 8128. So the 664 will be available at 18,999, and the 6128 will be available at 19,999, and the 8GB 128GB will be available at 21,999. Now the X4 Pro will be available on Flipkart starting 5th April at 12 noon. And we've made things even better. There will be an introductory bank offer which makes the entire deal even sweeter.
And if you think the X4 Pro already comes at an amazing price, we are going to make it even better with better than your X offer. See, if you are a POCO X2, X3 or X3 Pro user, we've got you covered. All you need to do is trade in your X2, X3 or X3 Pro and you get amazing value for that device on purchase of the X4 Pro. Let me do the math with X3 Pro, for example. Let's say you are getting about 8,500 for the X3 Pro. We are going to add another 3,000 in terms of value for that. So that takes your overall price to just 7,500. And then we're not even stopping there. There's an additional bank offer of another 1,000, which basically means if you are moving from the X3 Pro to the X4 Pro with 5G, with AMOLED, with the 67 watt charging, you can get it for just 6,500. That's an amazing, better than your X offer.
So that's all from Team POCO for today. We really hope that you love the X4 Pro. Finally, a no-compromise multi-dimensional device that you all have been waiting for. Stay safe, take care, thank you.